Let me tell you about the day the crypto world died. It wasn't a slow death. It wasn't a warning. It was a Tuesday morning in November 2022, and by Friday, $32 billion had vanished. Poof, gone, like it never existed. And the man at the center of it all, he was sitting in a penthouse in the Bahamas, tweeting that everything was fine. This is the story of Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy who convinced the entire world he was a genius, a saint, and a billionaire all at once. And then lost everything in 72 hours flat. Stay right here, because I promise you the real story is 10 times crazier than anything you've read in the headlines. Comment right now, have you ever have money in crypto? Drop a yes or no below. Who is this guy? First, who is Sam Bankman-Fried? Because if you don't know the origin story, the fall doesn't make any sense. Sam was born in 1992 in California. His parents were both Stanford law professors. Smart family, academic house, the kind of home where dinner table conversation sounds like a courtroom debate. He went to MIT. I studied physics, graduated with a brain that could calculate risk faster than most people can make a sandwich. He got a job at Jane Street Capital, one of the most elite trading firms on Wall Street, and within a few years was making millions trading complicated financial instruments. But here's the thing about Sam. He wasn't flashy. He didn't wear suits. He wore cargo shorts and a wrinkled t-shirt to every meeting, including meetings with heads of state. He slept on a beanbag in the office. He drove a beat-up Toyota Corolla. He talked constantly about donating every dollar he made to charity. He had a whole philosophy behind it called effective altruism. The idea is simple. Earn as much money as possible and give it all away to causes that do the most good. Mosquito nets in Africa, pandemic prevention, existential risk. Sam was the poster child for this movement. He genuinely seemed to believe the world was broken and he was going to fix it with math and money. People loved him for it. Journalists wrote glowing profiles. Politicians invited him to Washington. He became the face of responsible crypto before he was 30. Quick question, would you trust someone more if they dressed badly and said they were giving their money away? Think about that. Comment on your honest answer. Building the empire. In 2017, Sam made a move that changed everything. He noticed something interesting. The price of Bitcoin in Japan was slightly higher than the price of Bitcoin in the United States. Small gap. But if you moved fast and had enough volume, you could make a fortune. He started doing exactly that. Buying low in the US, selling high in Japan. It was called arbitrage and it was completely legal. He made millions in months. That early success gave him the confidence to go bigger. In 2019, at 27 years old, he launched FTX, a crypto trading exchange designed for professional traders. It was slicker, faster, and smarter than most platforms on the market. And this thing exploded. By 2021, FTX was everywhere. There was a Super Bowl commercial. There was the FTX Arena in Miami, the same stadium where the NBA's Miami Heat play basketball. Tom Brady was an ambassador. Steph Curry wore the FTX logo. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank was being paid millions to tell people to invest. Naomi Osaka was on board. The company was running ads during the biggest sporting events on the planet. Sam was on the cover of Fortune magazine. Forbes called him the next Warren Buffett. His net worth was estimated at $26 to $32 billion. He was 29 years old. Politicians were lining up to take his calls. He was the second biggest individual donor to the Democratic Party in the 2022 midterms, giving over $40 million. He met with regulators. He testified before Congress. He was essentially being treated as the adult supervision that crypto desperately needed. Everyone believed in Sam, and that was the problem. When you saw those Super Bowl ads and celebrity faces, did that make you want to invest? Be honest in the comments. No judgment. The secret. Here is the part nobody was supposed to find out. FTX was a customer exchange. That means regular people deposited their money, their actual savings, their investment funds, and FTX was supposed to hold it safely. When a customer deposited $1,000, that $1,000 was supposed to be sitting there, waiting for them, ready to be withdrawn anytime they wanted. That is the basic promise every financial exchange makes. It is the entire foundation of trust. But behind the scenes, billions of dollars in customer funds were allegedly being moved quietly, systematically into Alameda Research. That was Sam's private trading firm, the one he ran alongside FTX, the one most people on the outside didn't think had any connection to customer deposits at all. And what was Alameda doing with that money? Making huge risky trades, buying property in the Bahamas, over 70 properties according to court documents, including luxury penthouses, making loans to executives, funding political donations, paying off debts, bankrolling a lifestyle that looked like the background of a rap video. All of it allegedly funded with your money. Customer money. Money that was supposed to be locked away in safe. One internal document reportedly showed that Alameda had an unofficial line of credit from FTX worth up to $65 billion. Not 8 million, not 100 million, 65 billion. And it was backed by FTT, a token that FTX itself had invented. A token whose entire value depended on people believing FTX was legitimate. It was a house of cards so tall it blocked out the sun. How does something this big stay hidden for years? Drop your theory in the comments. I'll pin the best answer. The collapse. November 2nd, 2022. A website called CoinDesk published a leaked document, just a balance sheet, really showing that the majority of Alameda Research's assets were made up of FTT tokens. Not cash, not real investments. A coin FTX had printed them. Most people skimmed the article and moved on. But one person read it very carefully. Changpeng Zhao, known in crypto as CZ, was the founder and CEO of Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange and FTX's biggest competitor. Binance had actually invested in FTX early on and owned a large amount of FTT tokens as a result. On November 6th, CZ tweeted 7 words that destroyed everything. He said Binance would be selling all of its FTT holdings due to recent revelations. That was it. 7 words. The reaction was immediate and catastrophic. Crypto traders panicked. Everyone rushed to withdraw their money from FTX at the same time. In a single day, $6 billion in withdrawal requests hit FTX. FTX couldn't process them. The money wasn't there. Sam scrambled to find emergency funding. He called every major investor he knew. He begged Binance to buy FTX and bail them out. CZ agreed, then looked at the books and walked away within 24 hours. He said the problems were beyond anything they could fix. On November 11, 2022, just 9 days after that CoinDesk article, FTX filed for bankruptcy. Sam Bankman-Fried resigned as CEO. 1 million customers were locked out of their accounts. An estimated $8 billion in customer funds was missing. Sam was 30 years old. If you had money on FTX or know someone who did share what happened, this community deserves to hear real stories. The PR disaster. Now, here is where the story gets almost hard to believe. Most people who just presided over the greatest collapse in crypto history would go completely silent. Hire lawyers. Disappear. Not Sam. Sam went on a media tour. He did interviews with major publications. He got on Twitter Spaces, live audio with hundreds of thousands of listeners. He posted long threads trying to explain what happened. He used phrases like, "I didn't knowingly commit fraud," and "I didn't try to commingle funds," and "I made a lot of mistakes." Legal experts watching from the sidelines were astonished. His own lawyers were begging him to stop. Every word he said in public was potential evidence. Every interview was a new headline. Every tweet was being saved and screenshotted by prosecutors. Sam seemed either completely convinced that talking his way out was possible or so disconnected from reality that he didn't understand what was coming. In December 2022, he traveled to New York. The night before, he was scheduled to testify before Congress. The night before, he was arrested at his home in the Bahamas, handcuffed, extradited to the United States. The man who shook hands with presidents was in a jail cell. Real question, do you think Sam genuinely believed he did nothing wrong? Or was it all an act? Vote in comments, believed it or total act. The trial. The trial of Sam Bankman-Fried began in October 2023 in a Manhattan federal courtroom. The prosecution had a devastating weapon. His own inner circle had flipped. Caroline Ellison, the CEO of Alameda Research and Sam's former girlfriend, sat in the witness box and calmly described how Sam had personally directed her to use customer funds. She said he knew exactly what was happening. She had spreadsheets. She had messages. She had receipts. Ryan Salami, Nishad Singh, Gary Wang, all former FTX executives, all cooperating witnesses, all pointing in the same direction. Sam took the stand himself. For 2 days, he answered questions from both sides, trying to portray himself as a disorganized, well-meaning entrepreneur who got in over his head. He said he didn't understand the math. He said he trusted the wrong people. He said it was all a terrible, tragic accident. The jury listened to everything. Then they deliberated for 4 hours. Just 4 hours for a case this size, a case with thousands of pages of evidence, dozens of witnesses, and billions of dollars at stake. 4 hours. Guilty on all 7 counts. Fraud. Conspiracy, money laundering, every single charge. In March 2024, Sam Bankman-Fried was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. He was 31 years old. Is 25 years fair, too much, or not enough? Tell me what sentence you would have given. Comments are open. So what do we actually take away from all of this? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Sam Bankman-Fried was not some shadowy criminal from a dark corner of the internet. He was someone the entire system embraced. Regulators met with him. Politicians took his money. Celebrities put his logo on their jerseys. Smart journalists wrote his praises. The warning signs were there. They always are. But nobody wanted to look too hard because the story was too good and the money was too real. A messy haircut is not proof of honesty. Celebrity endorsements are not financial audits. And anyone who tells you the rules don't apply to them because they're trying to save the world, that's the person you should watch most closely. The real victims of all this? Ordinary people, small investors, families who put real savings into a platform that was a lie from the beginning. If this story taught you one thing, share this video with someone you know who's getting into crypto right now. Because the next Sam Bankman-Fried is already out there, probably on your timeline, wearing cargo shorts and talking about changing the world. Stay sharp. Stay skeptical, and I'll see you in the next one.